Continuing with this book, Swami Vivekananda Life and Teachings, we have reached to chapter 13 at the Thousand Island Park. The St. Lawrence River forms part of the boundary of New York State, and in one place there are so many islands that they are called the Thousand Islands. Early in June 1895, Swamiji went to the Thousand Island Park and stayed there for 7 weeks. 12 students also went at different times and stayed with him. It was a beautiful place. They could look out over the river and see many islands. It was quiet with nothing to hear but the wind and the songs of the birds, but the best thing for the disciples was to listen to Swamiji. Swamiji was at his best here. Every evening he would teach the students about Vedanta and the Hindu religion. Once he spoke to them until very late night. The full moon rose and set, but none of them knew that so much time had passed. But it was not always religion that they had. There was much laughter and joy also. Swamiji would cut jokes and make them laugh and laugh and laugh. Sometimes they would go for a picnic. Occasionally, Swamiji would cook for them. This would alarm the devotees, for it would mean much dishwashing for them afterwards. He would also use lot of spices, making the food rich and hot. The devotees liked his cooking except for the spices, which burned their tongues. But they ate the food just the same, had it not been cooked by Swamiji. Swamiji was full of spiritual power and he had a great influence on the devotees. They all became his disciples. Two of them served him faithfully as long as they lived. One was Sister Christian, who later worked in India. The other was Mr. J. Goodwin, who took down many of Swamiji's lectures and who also followed him to India, where he died at a young age. Another of Swamiji's disciples, Miss Waldo, wrote down many of things he spoke at the Thousand Island Park. These have been published in a book called Inspired Talks. So you must read this book, basically Inspired Talks. He also wrote the poem Song of the Sannyasin at this time. After he left the Thousand Island Park, Swamiji went to England for 2 months. Then he returned to New York as he was badly needed to carry on the work there. As before, he gave lectures and talked to people who came to him for spiritual help. 3 books were published from his lectures: Janan Yog, Raj Yog, and Karma Yog. These books immediately became popular. Swamiji's fame as a religious became his most powerful fame. He spread and wide, and many important peoples became his friends and disciples. He had the dream of combining the best quality of India and America, of the East and the West. Religious teachers would do and go to the West and teach spirituality. The Western devotees would go to India and teach science, industry, organization, and cooperation. Swamiji was very tired when his work in America ended. He had not spared himself. Whenever he did anything, he would think of nothing else. Swamiji was very strong, but he worked so hard that even his strong body became weak. So this is it. We'll be continuing with 14th chapter, England and Europe. Thank you.